people are able to redeem paper on the actual asset. And something like this for an asset, whether that's like a Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of these other coins, that you can pretty much control the price when you're able to create derivatives based on the actual asset. So this comes into like something similar to fractional reserve banking, where for every Bitcoin or for every Dogecoin, you can say, okay, we're going to do a 5-to-1 ratio, right? Welcome back, YouTube. So in today's video, I'm going to point out a couple of tweets that Elon either said or co-signed, and I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into why I believe this is extremely important as far as for moving forward in the crypto community. And as a whole, we need to push for a standard to have this be for every investor when it comes to the access and protection of their cryptocurrencies. So the first tweet we're going to look at is a more recent one on November 23rd by West Coast Bill. He says, "Not your keys, not your crypto." And they were talking about making a reference to like Binance and Robinhood as far as for breaking your dependence on them. And Elon co-signed and said, exactly. And I'm going to switch screens here. And you'll see that it says here on this one, it says any crypto wallet that won't give you your private key should be avoided at all costs. And this is on February 10th, 2021. So this is really some of the issues that we saw from some brokerages like Robinhood and stuff in the past when it comes down to removing like your coins. And when people were, pretty much getting introduced to cryptos, they didn't have the opportunity to capitalize where they would like in the event of a bull run or something like that. And we saw that Robinhood issued out some payments and stuff for their servers or whatever being overwhelmed. And we ran into these issues. And I think that going forward, we have to push for this to become a standard. Making an investment is, I believe, very important. It's crucial, knowing which investment, but also being able to take profits and exit those positions at your choice is also equally important, if not even more important. And I think that as a standard, we have to hold these brokerages accountable to say, okay, you cannot have a system where you can effortlessly take our money, but when it comes down to execution of an order or us redeeming our profits, that becomes an issue. And then privacy and protection also plays a part into that. But I want to double down on this because we've seen similar things where brokerages technically upload everyone's cash or deposits into a similar account. I'm going to compare asset classes here because I believe if we're not careful, we're going to see a repeat. And we've seen these asset classes where these companies or banks are pretty much pooling everyone's money together. And then what we saw a few weeks ago, everyone was talking about the Bitcoin ETFs, and like a Robinhood or any brokerage that's going to not allow you to have a wallet to access these privately. What we're going to see is probably an ETF coming from them, and they're going to start pretty much creating derivatives off of that pool of cryptocurrencies that they have. And this is where things get really tricky, and this is where price manipulation comes in. A lot of you may be familiar with the commodity asset classes like gold or silver. And we've seen this habitually over time where they create these, people are able to redeem paper on the actual asset. And something like this for an asset, whether that's like a Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of these other coins, that you can pretty much control the price when you're able to create derivatives based on the actual asset. So this comes into like something similar to fractional reserve banking, where for every Bitcoin or for every Dogecoin, you can say, okay, we're going to do a 5-to-1 ratio, right? And this is kind of how your price manipulation comes into play. And I believe if we're not careful, and I'm sure Elon will probably speak on this again. He's done so quite a few times. I believe if we're not careful, we're going to see that kind of manipulation, which will lead to not only market control but price manipulation. We will see it in the crypto market, right? The When it comes down to apps and owning your own crypto, like it's no difference than saying, okay, I want to own an ounce of gold, but I'm going to own it physically and have it in my possession or have it in storage or whatever the case may be, but you own it physically and you have control over that. If you want to sell your gold tomorrow, no one's telling you you can't, or the app's not working, or they're doing maintenance, or we're going to take these fees because of the execution, or we having liquidity issues, or whatever, all the crap that we saw this year. This is what happens when you don't have control over the asset. And I think this is what Elon is getting at, especially when he said, if it's not your wallet, it's not your crypto, because you're really at the mercy of the person who's holding your crypto. And I think that a lot of people have, discovered that. And that's why they're pushing for Robinhood to have these wallets, which I believe we're going to get first quarter of 2022. And I think that this needs to be the standard going forward. Otherwise, we're going to see, because I believe that even though the popularity of the Bitcoin ETF, and it was a big thing a few weeks ago, I do believe that we're going to get those in the crypto market. I believe this is going to happen. And the only way that you're going to be able to protect yourself to make sure that you actually own the crypto that you have, you're going to have to own it privately, the same way you would have to own an ounce of gold. The only way that you know that you actually own that ounce of gold is if you have it and it's in your possession. Because I'm telling you right now, the banking does that. And when you go deposit money into the bank, it's fractional reserve banking. They can loan out 10 times the money, literally just create more money just like that. And they can loan it out 10 times. Same thing with ETFs. When it comes to gold, you'll have 5, 10 people with a piece of paper saying that they all own the same ounce of gold. And meanwhile, you can never take possession of that gold. The gold is just an asset that secures the note, which is what you have. So if you say you're going to redeem your gold, you're just going to get cash. You're never going to touch that piece of gold or see it. This is all done electronically on paper. So I think that we have to treat this asset class similar to what we would look at when we're looking at investing in precious metals, which is if you don't hold it, if you don't own it, if it's not yours, if you don't have control over it, you're going to have to consider the fact that it's not yours. I think that's the point that Elon is making. And I think that that's why we all need to push for having our own individual wallets, because we're going to be in a time that you're going to see some type of hacking and people's cryptocurrencies getting stolen and stuff like that. And I know that blockchain and stuff is more efficient, but best believe that there has not been a system that has, again, crypto for the most part is relatively new, but I can best believe as far as for this market cap pretty much growing the way it is, if we're not on a individual basis as far as for our wallets, you can best believe these brokerages are going to have some security issues and where some information is going to get out. So it happens all the time. I have no reason to believe that will not happen with some of these brokerages, especially if they're having large amounts of, only God knows how much crypto and money net worth in a singular wallet or in a few wallets. Those are going to be the ones that's going to be targeted. So I'm going to release a video soon. I'm going to put together like some of the wallets that I would recommend, because I believe that'll be helpful for the community as well. But start pushing for and start doing your research and decide where you're going to keep and protect your crypto. I believe that's very important. And I think that's why Elon is saying that you need to own your own wallet. You can't depend on these brokerages, because these brokerages, when they run into like liquidity issues and stuff like that, their number one priority is not going to be you. It's going to be, okay, how do we not get margin called? How do we not get fined? They're looking out for themselves, which is why they're hitting the switch and removing, buy buttons and all types of things that they've done this year. You have to understand that you're going to have to treat your cryptocurrency, your just like any other of your investments. You don't have it unless you have direct access to it. No different than your money in the bank. So I think that as a community, if we focus on that, we can change the narrative of these brokerages that offer and sell these cryptocurrencies and have it standard where you have your own wallet no matter where you go. And I think that as a community, we have enough power to do that, and we need to do that relatively quickly, especially while crypto is booming the way it is. I believe this is a really important topic, so I appreciate all of you. If you found any value in this video, please consider giving it a like, and please share this video, and not just for like the sake of the channel or anything like that, but because I believe everyone needs to have this as a primary focus when they're building their portfolios. This is something that needs to be taken into consideration. So please share this video with your friends, let them know, and we can just start a conversation in the community so that we can push forward and build together and gravitate toward the brokerages that answer this demand that we have. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Until next time.